Dear children, now we shall deal with the next point from our chapter. That is, there were some parallel happenings, as you may find. This Mahatma Gandhi has led various agitations movements. Simultaneously, some other happenings were going on parallel to this agitation and to these movements. The very first was that nationwide, the youth were just united by RSS, Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. And apart from that, Communist Party of India, this also was established in the mid 1920s. These are the happenings of 1922 to 29. So in mid 1920s, these two major institutions, organizations, now you may call these both are emerged with an active party, active organizations. They work for the welfare of society on their own areas. Then on the other hand, if we just oppose or continue non-cooperating to the governments, then government won't think about the welfare of the Indians. So how can we change this picture? Some of them were of this thought that we should fight, we should be in the government instead of just refraining from the government activities. Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru argued that we should fight, means a party, INC, Indian National Congress, should fight elections to the councils. So that what will happen? Then Indian representatives will be there in the council, in the central council, and they will put demand directly to the governor, directly to the viceroy, directly to the administrative party or bodies. Then another major happenings this time is 1929, when this INC was organized, annual annual gathering organized at Lahore. That is 1920, Purna Swaraj in Lahore. And who was the president? President was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the president, and you might not see here. Okay, Pandit Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru was the president of this national level their meeting of INC, and the resolution was passed of Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj means complete independence. What happened? The British rule granted a dominion state, the status of dominion states. It means that dominion state means you will work, means you Indians will rule within the boundary of that particular province, but they have to follow the rules and regulations what center directs or issues the order. Center means here the central government, means here the British government. And when this resolution was passed to Purna Swaraj, and for obtaining Purna Swaraj, now INC was working, but as you know, there is no room to sought complete independence. But still, Indians had observed this day, January 26 in 1930. This day is observed as Independence Day of the India. So the very first Independence Day of India is 26th of January 1930. And to remember this date in the history of India, the importance of day, the very first time Independence Day was observed. Hence, our constitution was earlier prepared and its implementation started on 26 January 1950, and from then our India became a republic, India, or the democratic country, wholly functioning as per the constitution. Now, these were some of the points that are the happenings of 1922 and 29. But on the other hand, there was other working force for getting independence of the India, and that was revolutionary nationalists. See, we had we have seen these moderates were also working for the freedom of India. Then radicals were also doing the same. Objective is the same, but methods are different. So, what was the methods of revolution nationalists? This moderate told that just begging and just pleading and just submitting the applications are failing, believing in their justifiable heart. But radicals that it is not only by praying and by appealing the independence can be sought. The radicals like Lal Bal Pal, they argued for it should be snatched. The liberty or independence is my birthright and I shall have it. It means for that the Swadeshi movement and all we saw in earlier periods. But what was the revolutionary nationalist? As this was led by Chandrasekhar Azad, Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Batukeshwar Dutt. These revolutionists, what they did, let them do, let INC do according to their method. But the method of revolutionary nationalist was to take the law in our hand. It means creating nuisance or creating the normal functioning of the British rule. That was the motto, and to make British rule listen our voice, our demands. And for that, Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, in short HSRA, was established during this time. And under this party, on 17 December 1928, the Bhagat Singh and Dutt attacked or assassinated Saunders, an English officer. Saunders, he was assassinated, and due to which what happened, and another thing was that on 8th of April 1929, Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt threw a bomb. They saw there was an open space in the central assembly, and seeing that open space, just they threw a bomb. It was a very huge blast and noise. The purpose behind this action of throwing the bomb, Bhagat Singh and Batukeshwar Dutt, means revolutionary nationalists, wanted to make the deaf hear very loudly our voice, because British government or British rule was not at all in position to do justifiable activities for the Indians. And as a result of this, because earlier the assassination of Saunders and throwing the bomb, they particularly themselves surrendered to the this British police. And on 23rd of March 1931, execution of Bhagat Singh, Batukeshwar Dutt and Rajguru has been happened. He was then, that time he was just, you may see them about, he was just only 23 years of age when he was executed, he was hanged. This was the sacrifice was done by the revolutionary nationalists. Some others were doing on their own method. So this all were doing the making of our national movement. Started from here, Purna Sarvajanik Sabha, Madras Mahajan Sabha, Bombay Association, like that. Such all organizations were leading to this date, 1947. I shall rub it and take another point here. Now we have here, just see this next point from this chapter is the March to Dandi, or it is also known as Civil Disobedience Movement. It took place, or it started in 1930. Its commencement is with the action of making salt or producing salt. Gandhiji thought that how the all people, irrespective of their caste, religion, and status or economic status, rich and poor, everybody should participate such movements. And for that, during that time, what happened? The salt production, salt was now thus only the government or this administration has the monopoly over to produce the salt. It is such a common thing and everybody's necessity. It is a very common food of every Indian or any person, and this was under monopoly. Hence, Mahatma Gandhi thought that I shall purposefully, in a civil manner, disobey the law. The law, the law is that it is the salt, production of salt is under the monopoly of government. But Gandhiji decided and started his journey from his ashram Sabarmati and to Dandi. He just traveled 240 miles, and in their sequence, many women, peasants, women, and rebels joined. It started 12th of March and 1930. Okay, and ended on 6th of April 1930. So during this journey, what happened? He broke the law and accumulated or gathered people under this march. That is called civil disobedience movement or the march to Dandi. It started from that. Then he reached there Dandi and just natural salt he picked from the seashore, and it is just a symbolic action of breaking the law. And what are the achievements of this civil disobedience movement is, earlier government tried or British government tried to crush this movement, but people were now very stubborn, and Mahatma Gandhi was also very stubborn. Since he is just marching, he is just going. So though his intention is just to break the law, but he is just marching. It means he has not committed any wrong, isn't it? Wrong will be done when he will break the salt law, but he is just about to break the law. Hence, the government or instead of just only the oppose, it didn't do anything more than that. But finally, this movement own Gandhiji own, and what had been given their achievement is that new act is enacted, that is Government of India Act 1935, and the provision under this act was given that provincial autonomy. Provincial autonomy means, see, this is the whole India and these are the smaller provinces. Within the provinces, we will govern our contesting elections. Who will be the majority? They will form the government within that particular provinces. That is called provincial autonomy. And on the basis of this rule or act, elections were contested in 1937, and INC, the major party of that time, own out of 11 provinces, it formed the government in 7 provinces. That is the achievement, highest achievement. See. And in subsequent year in 1939, Second World War broke out, and as you know, there was the major enemy to the British was the Germany. But Germany was being led by whom? Yes, it was led by Hitler. And what was the policy of Hitler? Hitler was a racist person. isn't it? The Aryan race. He just gave very much importance to the his own race, that is Aryan race. Okay, so if Hitler defeats to England, okay, then various colonies of England will be now under the influence of Britain, isn't it? And you know, the Hitler is a racist person. Okay, to avoid and to oppose Hitler, or in the view of this situation, India supported England during Second World War. But in turn, what Indians demanded? Indians demanded that as soon as war will be over, okay, as soon as war will be over, then what they should give? England should give, or England should give the freedom to the Indians. It was there. But will this demand be during this time be granted by the England? Yes, exactly, no. Then what happened? Then Indians, and particularly Mahatma Gandhi, now gave a final mantra, that is do or die during Quit India movement. Now let us see Quit India movement. See here how this Quit India came into existence is what happened during this Second World War time. Second World War is from 1939 to 1945. During this time, as you know, that India, with a condition, supported to the Britain in this war, but still British government didn't approved or allowed, considered the demand of India, that is quitting or letting India free. And Gandhiji, see, 8 August, okay, remember, 8 August 1942, he just gave the mantra, a slogan, do or die. This is the time. Either you do or you must die. This is the situation. Because this British won't quit India easily. So we have to do. How to do? Either you do and let the British go, that is quit. Or if they are there, then there is no other chance to survive under the tyrannical rule of the British. So in 8 August 1942, he has given the slogan, and he had that apprehension of arrest. What the apprehension of arrest? That leaders may be arrested. So people must have to guide themselves. People will be themselves the leaders. Okay? People will be themselves the leaders. And that is why on 9th of August 1942, the nationwide agitation or Quit India movement, as Gandhiji had told to the British to quit India. Quit means just quit and go to your own country and let India be a free nation. So, under this slogan, do or die, on 9th of August 1942, this the what you call a revolutionary, the movement, Quit India movement, started, and that is why we consider this date, 9th of August, as a Kranti Din, Revolution Day, Kranti Din. That is this Kranti. Okay, then how the people reacted? People reacted on this call. They attacked the communications, because immediately the force, the military force or police force, would attend this agitation and they would use to crush it. So how they will come? They will come on the receiving of the message. So the very first target of the nationalists was the communications. And symbol of state. Symbol of state means maybe the police, maybe the collectorate, maybe the Tahsil office, whatever the established or regulated and controlled by the state or government. That is the symbols of states. That all were attacked. And will now British be silent whatever they are doing? In one hand, they are busy in Second World War, and on other hand, they have to manage this civil agitation or civil movement or the happenings within the country, except the battlefield. So what they did, they crushed the tide. They arrested, maximum leaders were arrested on the very next day on 9th of August. Arrested. Now the people had their in their mind this slogan, do or die, and this started. So it is told that the report says that by 1943, 90,000 people were arrested, 1,000 had been prayed to the bullets of the police firings, and many of the crowds were attacked by the bombing from the aeroplane that happened here during this time. Then this situation was a very horrible situation, and by now many of the nations were just away against imperialism. Okay, why the Second World War has broke out? It is because of their mutual contesting, mutual what you call battles, and the mutual crisis on various colonies. Because of that, this imperialism should be renounced, and every nation or every other group, other identity of each nation has been set free. It was this idea emerged in Asia, in Europe, and many other countries. So now British government also decided to quit the India, but in which manner? The later stage the government shall be, that has been also decided. Let us see that one.